All right, let's go. But bear with me. Just trying to go live on Instagram as soon as it allows me to. Oh, I hope I'm not going to be able to hear this. All right, cool. All right, what do we got? What do we got? Live from Philadelphia. Friday Live. Introduce myself, Vince Perry, 16-year entrepreneur, public adjuster, now building a scale community and business brokering, exit advising, really helping business owners understand the concept of how to properly scale a business so that they don't drown themselves. And I know there's a lot of channels out there for that, but the difference is ultimately my goal is get you to a place where your largest investment that you have in your life, believe it or not, if you're an entrepreneur, is your business. And that's basically what I do, is helping people sort of understand that. And yesterday was an interesting and fantastic presentation that I gave, not to toot my own horn, but honestly, it was really fun, and I really enjoyed it. It's honestly one of the things that I love to do most. And honestly, guys, if you guys had any questions, anybody wants to comment, post, or have any questions at all, please ask me a question. In particular about the presentation that I gave yesterday. The presentation, it was called the productized adjuster. And basically, it was the idea that if you're going to remain in the public adjusting space and run a public adjusting firm, the contingency model is broken. Plain and simple. Or if 100% of your revenue is reliant on a contingent on you settling the claim and you getting a percentage of that claim, if that's your only source of revenue, it's going to be difficult because you're going to be constantly chasing your tail. I can give you an experience that I had was when I was a public adjuster for probably about 6 years or so. I went on a 3-week trip to Thailand, and it was great while I was gone because the checks were getting cashed. And my partner was going to my bank account and literally depositing my commission into my check. And I made a lot of money in those 3 weeks. And then when I came back, everything was fine until about a month later, because I had been gone for 3 weeks and didn't sign a single claim for 3 weeks. I was hurting for money. And then I went on a 2-month backpacking trip, and the same thing happened. I was trying to figure out a way that I could sign claims while I was gone, but it obviously, when you're out of the country, you're not going to be doing as much sales and signing as much claims. You're on vacation. So what I realized that as a public adjuster, if you're not signing claims constantly, you are eventually going to run out. It only takes a matter of time before that happens. So if you do not have any other source of revenue than to sign a claim, work a claim, and close a claim, because as a public adjuster, you don't get paid until the claim is settled, well, you're just going to be chasing your tail. You could be super successful. And there are a few out there. There are a few public adjusting firms that are very successful, and that's the model that they have, and that's the model that public adjusters have had for over 100 years. Believe it or not, public adjusting has been around for that long. And excuse me, drinking some coffee. And quite frankly, your average public adjusting firm is not going to be able to hold on. When you start off as an adjuster, you know already you're not going to get paid for quite some time. And even now is worse than it was before. The time now is it's much harder to get paid on a claim than it was back when I started in 2009. So I can give you another example. We had an adjuster that came onto the team years ago who was an independent adjuster, and he was making over $200,000 a year. He raised up a lot of capital so that he could start a public adjusting career. And in a year or less, he was out. He ran out of money. He couldn't do it anymore. And he would get a job because he had 3 kids and a wife to support. And it just wasn't happening. Because even when you do start getting paid as a public adjuster, you're getting small, tiny little checks. Even if you have a $100,000 estimate that you're claiming, that undisputed payment could very well be either zero or just a couple $1,000 bucks. We're getting only a percentage of that. And on top of that, we're getting capped now on the contingency. So there's caps coming around all over. The cap in Texas is 10%. The cap in Illinois is 10%. I heard yesterday about a cap in Delaware of 2.5% on the first $25,000. 2.5%. What the hell is that? It's impossible to scale a business that way. The last thing I'll mention about this is what I realized in scaling elite resolutions was in claims, there if you're only working on a contingency, you have zero predictable cash flow. You could do a forensics, not investigation, but you can do like a forensic audit of like the last 3 years and get the average amount of settlements on your claim, the average amount that you settle for on your estimate, the average amount of time it takes for each claim. Yes, you can very well do that. But if you don't have the means to do that, or even then when you do that, it's still unpredictable. You're still just saying, hey, well, based on the last 3 years, you should be getting paid within a certain amount of time. That helps a lot, but it's very, very difficult to predict cash flow as a public adjuster if you're only working on contingency. So what did I talk about yesterday? What did I teach? That half the room thought I was nuts. The reason why they thought I was nuts is also because of the fact that our industry is very regulated. So some of the things that I was talking about may or may not be allowed because just once you become a licensed public adjuster, you are subject to just overall regulation of the insurance department, financial services department. And you are certain things you can do, certain things you can't do. For example, you can't give a referral fee. So if somebody gives me a claim and they're not a licensed public adjuster, I am legally not allowed to give them a referral fee more than I think it's $25. Maybe even less. And so that's just one example. So what I was talking about is coming up with a product. And the way you do that is very, very simple. Take my business, for example, right now. I'm a business broker. I'm also an exit advisor. I purposely became a certified exit planning advisor so that I can be certified and experienced in providing the product and the continuity offer that I have. That product is a value clarity report. Let's see if I can put a banner in here. So the value clarity report is a valuation. Now, stick with me here. If you are, per se, someone who's selling his or her business, typically the first step is you go to a business broker. You talk to the business broker, you tell them that you're interested in selling the business, and then you say, hey, well, can you give me a valuation on the business to see how we should proceed? 9.9 times out of 10, the business broker will evaluate your business for free. Now, because I'm starting out, if you are like hard pressed on selling your business tomorrow and we are ready to get going, chances are a listing agreement will be signed first and then we'll put a valuation and move from there. But if you're just someone who's shopping around, you're going to have to pay for that valuation. But here's the thing, my valuation is not just a valuation. My valuation is valuation steroids. It's got all kinds of stuff in regards to roadmaps on how to increase your valuation. It's got personal readiness scores as to what your plan is for life after exit. Do you have wills and trusts put in place? Do you have key man insurance? Do you have a financial advisor? Do you have all kinds of stuff? We do an audit also on all of your investments and your total net worth, and we come up with a wealth gap of the gap between where you are today and where you want to get to. We put all this, and I do a business attractiveness score, I do a business readiness score, financial. It's like a 60, 70-page report that is sent to the business owner that is of very high value. It's not just a valuation. If you don't want that, then you don't have to get that. Go to another business broker and get yourself a valuation. Or honestly, go to ChatGPT and put your financials in and get your own valuation. But if you want this report, you have to pay for it. And similar to public adjusting is we go out to homes and we give all kinds of advice and information and educational knowledge that we have from experience. We give it to them for free in the hopes that they sign a contract and then in the hopes that we actually settle their claim. So my proposal to the group yesterday was to take the knowledge that you have and turn it into a product, not just any product, turn it into a product on steroids. Another example I'll give you is that if you are a business owner that's potentially interested in selling your business one day at all, it doesn't matter when you do this value clarity report, it's called the 7-figure exit map. You also get login information where you can upload all your financials. And then once the report is completed, you get access to a dashboard where you can see your financials. You can see your valuation. You can see your roadmap. You can see all of your scores. You can see the action items that you have to accomplish over the next 90 days. That's what makes it valuable. A public adjuster can do the same thing. in regards to valuation of the estimate, valuation of the damages, a detailed photo report of the description of the damages that have occurred and where they're coming from. But they put uploading invoices and documents and expert reports and charge for that. The easiest way that I could explain it, if you are a public adjuster watching this, is what is it that you submit to the insurance company after you sign a claim? I like to call it a claim package. What does that claim package include? It includes what I just talked about: photos, estimates, narrative, your contract, invoices, expert reports, whatever it is. What if you just charge a flat fee for that, as opposed to doing all that work and then waiting for the claim, and then waiting and being reliant on the insurance company to actually agree with you to go ahead and pay that claim? My proposal is you charge a flat fee and you walk away. What I've learned from getting coached by some very, very wealthy and successful business people is that the only thing that you never get back, the only commodity in your life that you will never, ever get back is time. Money, you will always get back. So what happens is you walk into a job and all you see is dollar signs. And sure, it might be a big claim, might be worth a lot. And your 10, 15, 20% fee could net you tens of thousands of dollars. But you also waste all of that time of your life where you could be doing something else, whatever that is, personally or business wise. So if, for example, you see a claim and you know that it's going to be $100,000, so you know that you can make on 20%, say $20,000, which is freaking sweet. I'd like for you to really think outside the box and consider the amount of time that it's going to take you to do that. It could be anywhere from 6, 9 months to 2 years to actually get that $20,000. Where you could charge, say, $5,000 or $7,500, or go for the 10,000 maybe. You can separate payments. But anyway, you make half the money, but you're done. You're done with just several hours of your time and you're on to do the next thing. If the client decides that they want to come and actually use you after they receive the report because you're not being successful with the insurance company, well, then that could be another option for you to actually charge that contingency after the fact. So it's just an idea. I can't wait for someone to actually implement it and just go away from contingency altogether, because the insurance company has you by balls, and so does the client. So does the client. And when you create a product, it's very easy to scale as well. Much, much easier to scale a business when you have a product. But once a product, you never really have to create that product again. Even when it's custom for a client, once you build a template, all you have to do is that one inspection, and you upload it into that template where you can train how to do it. I'll be completely honest with you. The 7-figure exit map, value parity report that we do, is just a couple of conversations, total up to about 2 to 3 hours worth, getting all the information. I come up with all the scores pretty much on the spot, and then I do have an administrator that's able to take all of that information and actually build out the report based on the information that we received from the client and then the information that I input from there. So it's really just a couple hours of my time, because it's a repeatable process and it looks the same every single time. If you're going to scale a company, you have to buy back as much time as you possibly can. If you do not, you're going to be in trouble. You're not going to have enough time to do much of anything else. Can't even live on that much less run a business. Exactly. For some reason, I don't see Instagram comments. StreamYard. So it's just a different idea. I told everybody in the presentation that I'm not trying to convince anybody to do anything. All I wanted to do was just a little creativity in your minds to maybe make you think outside the box. What I have learned through all of the coaching that I have received throughout the last 5 years or so, and through scaling several businesses, is that there is a right way of doing it. And the right way of doing it is a 3-offer system: a product, a continuity offer, and then the service that you provide, or a high ticket offer and then the service that you provide. Still wondering where I might do a high ticket as well. I mean, I will, but just don't know when. So for me, if you are a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, you're just thinking about exit, I'm telling you, send me a message and really consider purchasing the seven-figure exit map. $6,000 product that will really give you clarity as to not only the exact valuation of your business today, but we are going to figure out exactly how much more you need to increase that valuation to get to your ultimate dream goal, whether it's a year or 10 years from now. And and yeah, and then we'll also talk to your team. I also talk to you. We get your personal and financial readiness scores. We do an overall business score, like where you're at with your business. We identify all of the gaps in your business that are holding you from actually getting a more of a multiple on the valuation of your business, and then a roadmap, a 1 to 5 year roadmap, along with a list of 3 to 5 action items that you need to take over the next 90 days. That if you do them, it will increase the valuation of your business by 20%. I guarantee it. If that's not worth it, I don't know what is. And you can separate it into two payments as well, paying in the beginning and then paying at the end. And what I'm really excited about is the scale to sale community. Oh yeah, scale to sale community. It is a community that I'm building of entrepreneurs who are interested in valuation. We will also have opportunities for you to acquire businesses as well in this community, but the community is mainly for business owners, entrepreneurs who are ultimately interested in building something of value that they can flip, that they can sell. I'm so excited. You treat your business like anything else, man. You treat your business like a piece of real estate. You treat your business like it is 80% of your net worth. 80% of your net worth is in your business. All people talking about investing in real estate and investing in stock markets and investing in this, they forget about the fact that you could buy a business or you could own a business, and they forget about the fact that that is an investment as well. A very valuable and highly profitable investment that you can cash out pretty big. You can cash out pretty quickly. Typically, private equity groups, typically buy businesses and flip them within 5 years. 5 years. They treat it, private equity firms, private equity groups, they treat it as just that, like a piece of real estate. Let's buy this business. Let's invest money into it. Let's invest knowledge and systems and operations and sales and marketing and leadership. And in 5 years, based on the things that we implement, we will increase revenue by X amount, and we will be able to sell it for X amount and get an X return on this investment slash business. So it's an interesting concept. Can't wait for the scale to sale community. Not only are there going to be business sellers in there, it's going to be a beautiful way for buyers who are interested in all of the things that we'll have in our community. We're going to obviously offer also ways that these sellers can sell their businesses and acquire new ones immediately. We're going to have private equity who will have access to it as well, because these are going to be businesses that could potentially attract private equity. It's going to be the most insane community that you have ever seen in the entrepreneur space, and also very unique. And I'm pretty excited. The last thing that I wanted to touch on was I had a team meeting. So if you're on my team and you're watching this live, I'm not going to say any names. But if we had a team meeting earlier this week, and I'd been on vacation last week, and the week before vacation, you're kind of preparing for the vacation. The week after of a vacation, you're kind of like recovering from the vacation. I kind of fell victim to that a little bit. And I had a sort of emergency team meeting because I hadn't been in any of the group meetings for like the last 3 weeks. And I said, hey, I need everybody to get on the call. The reason why I got on the call is because I noticed that things weren't getting done in the proper timeline that they were supposed to be getting done. And like any other human being, you get moments of just lulls, right? Like you just start to slack off a little bit. And I noticed that that was happening. And I'd be doing a detriment to my team, my people, and my company if I were to allow that to happen for too long. And one thing that we harp on at, let's call it Vince Perry Official, several companies in there. One thing that we harp on at Vince Perry Official is standards. I learned this from my business coach. To constantly demand the highest of standards, not only from yourself, but from every single person on your team. And if you allow those standards as the leader of the company to slip and start to drop, then it will be a tsunami of standards. You have to catch it. You have to catch it quick. You have to call people out on it. I had one meeting with one person and told him that we need to get his shit together. Um, lack of, uh, lack oh my God, I can't think of the word right now, of just attention to detail, lack of detail. I talked to another team member in regards to just not getting different things done, like websites and stuff like that. And then I had a whole team meeting. And I called everybody out individually too as to why I thought that their standards were dropping. We have some team leads as well, and I told them that it's your responsibility to hold them accountable as well. So it was a great meeting. Honestly, it was very positive. I know I'm pretty good over the years of just keeping an overall positive attitude. You know, like what the fuck is up? And I thought it was a great meeting. And people need to understand. I think what one of my employees actually reminded me was that what employees don't understand is the importance of generating revenue. They probably do, but they don't really think about it. It's like anything else. If you're an employee, you do your job, you get paid every 2 weeks, and that's that. But in a small business, in an entrepreneurial organization, it can be very volatile. And if things don't go right for too long, well, guess what happens? I'm the only one that has true access to the bank account, and I can see when money is not coming in and too much money is going out. And if that happens for too long, well, guess what happens? You run out of money. And if you run out of money, guess what else happens? You can't pay employees. So everyone needs to understand that everyone in the company has to have a priority to generate revenue. I said that in the meeting, I said that in the message, where every single decision that we make and every single action that we take has to be towards generating revenue. And again, it was a great meeting. But my point is, you must have the highest of standards in your company and in your life, and honestly, with your friends and with your family as well. If they are not giving it their all, then it may be people that you shouldn't be hanging around with as often. And demand high standards and keep those standards high, and remind your team about these high standards and let them know when those standards are starting to drop. Because if not, it will be an avalanche of low standards. And if you allow it for too long, then your standard speech will fall flat and it will go nowhere. So, yeah. So that's it. Here in Philadelphia, I'm flying out now. As soon as I close this laptop, I've got everything packed. I am on my way to the airport. And, and enjoy some airport time. My favorite country in the world is the airport. Finish my coffee here and keep going. The last thing I'm going to touch on is one more thing I want to touch on that, maybe nobody's listening right now or nobody's even gotten this far. So nobody's let me tell you something about manifestation meditation. It is the most insane thing. I have been daily practicing. I work out every day physically and I work out every day mentally. I do a 1 hour meditation every night before I go to sleep. It is an energy centers meditation that is done by Joe Dispenza. And it's all about increasing the energy within your body and elevating all of your emotions to get you into a place of complete and utter elevated, amazing emotions of joy, of gratitude, of satisfaction, of empowerment, of courage, of strength. And you feel all these emotions, and then you feel all of the energy throughout your body. And after the meditation is done, you are glowing and an electrical, energetic, supernatural being that I have never experienced in my life. And I'm doing it every single day. And I will tell you, it is a game changer. The amazing things that have been happening in my life just for the last like 14 days because I started this meditation is indescribable. If you want more information on this, send me a message. And I can tell you right now, you're going to read 2 books. The first book is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Joe Dispenza. And if you want to understand the meditations, really know how to do them, the second book is Become Supernatural by Joe Dispenza. If you read those 2 books, I will send you the actual meditations that I'm doing. Now, when you first hear them, they sound insane and they sound like you might be part of some kind of cult. But the elevated emotions and the feelings that you get after one of these meditations is it's priceless. It's priceless. And I'm starting to realize that I'm pretty sure like a Tony Robbins, like a Gary V, like a Dan Martell, like these people, especially figure like a Tony Robbins. I've heard that he does a very, very intense manifestation, energizing meditation every time before he goes on stage. And I've got one that's only 15 minutes. It's all about empowerment and through your heart center. That in 15 minutes, I am electric and so elevated in energy that it's I did it this morning and it's just ready to take on the world. And it shows. It shows subconsciously around with other people as well. And it definitely showed in my presentation yesterday where I gave the best speech and presentation I have ever given by far. So if you want more information on that, shoot me a message because it is amazing and it is life changing. So that's what we got, guys. I'm out. We're done. Let me close this out. Guys, as I always close out with every single Friday Live, have an amazing weekend. Take a chill pill, take a break, enjoy your family, enjoy your friends. Don't work too hard. Like live in the moment, stay present, and be grateful for everything that you got. And just get yourself energized for the upcoming week so that you can ultimately just dominate it. But yeah, enjoy your weekend and have an amazing time. All right, I'm out. End live video and stream.